Okay, I think that's going to be better. My sound is on. I'm back. You should be able to hear me on YouTube. My sound is on. Okay, man, how awesome is that? Okay, let's just check. We're live everywhere. We give people a chance to join. We'll answer questions in a few moments. While we're doing that and we're waiting, how was your weekend? And how are you feeling? Are you healthy? Are you healing? How's the health going? So just shoot me a shout out so that I can know how you're feeling and wherever you are. So this is sort of a fireside chat. Welcome to everyone on TikTok, everyone on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Welcome here as we get ready to talk about the weekend. We're going to talk about, hey, the Springboks won this weekend. So who's excited? Who enjoyed the Springboks winning this weekend? Let me know what you're thinking and what happened as we start getting ready for this weekend. And trying something new. So usually I sit at my laptop and having a talk. My light's not working, so I have to sort of move around where I'm going to sit down tonight and talk. And just have a shout out. I'm Gerard Erasmus. Thank you. Welcome here, Jeanette. Welcome, Bradley Botha, Yaku, every lady. So it's nice to just have a shout out. You know, you can come and go. And as life happens, we have to consistently show up. Hello, Liesel. You know, I think about life is to create consistency. People ask usually, you know, why am I not lucky? Why is things not happening for me? So the thing is, we give up after a few tries. I saw a video from Anatoly this afternoon. And Anatoly is a famous TikTok guy that have done YouTube videos, TikTok videos about it doesn't look like he has muscles, but when in his videos, he shows his great strength that he has. And he started with one view and he's built up something that has created the following, that he's making money from his lives, his YouTubes, his TikToks, etc. Now it's the same for us. I think it's not to be perfect in the beginning, but as we start doing this, is to start creating that perfection. You know, it's to find your voice, to find what you want to say and how you want to say it. Hi, Miss J. Nice to have you. Lucinda, everyone, cheers to everyone that is showing up on live as well. So I've been sick last few days since I was supposed to do a live on Thursdays. I did one from Monday to Wednesday, so I did 3. My target is to do 3 a week. Did my 3. Thursday, I got sick. Pain, body ache, just not feeling really good. Being in bed the weekend, I went to watch the rugby on Saturday. And I think that being out in the cold again that evening, out and about, just made me a little bit sick again. I was totally man down on Sunday. And today is just up again. You know, I was up at 5 o'clock, getting things done, seeing my clients that I needed to see and getting things done. And that's the secret, is if you want to be successful in what you do, is you have to show up, even if you feel bad. But to also show up, you have to look at your health. And so I had to make a choice on showing up. Am I going to rest in bed and recharge and getting healthier, Beatrice, knowing all about health? Or am I going to, you know, just keep pushing hard? And I think sometimes we have to find not the balance, but the flow. A lot of people say out there for me, Kubus, we want a work-life balance. But the thing is, that doesn't exist. There's nothing like balance, right? It's flow. It's that constant. Think about an unending loop. It's a constant flow, ebbs and flows, ups and downs that we constantly have to go through. Good evening, Beatrice. Nice to have you here. Also a guy that has overcome a lot of health challenges and have done so much more in his life. And take my hat off for you, brother. It's been, 10 years that I know you and that we've been following each other. A week ago, I did a video that I got a lot of controversy around. And it was around talking about our South Africa in a losing streak. Cheers just lost. The Springboks lost, and then Driekus du Plessis lost. And a lot of people didn't like what I had to say. But remember, just a word of caution for everyone that is on here, is that this is my truth, this is my learnings, this is what I learned from all of these experiences. You might not agree with me, that's okay. We all experience life differently. We agree and disagree on a lot of things. As long as you take the positive learnings that I have to share. And I talked about how ego plays a role, how sometimes not having a plan B impacts us. You know, the Springboks didn't have a plan B. Drickers after in 5 rounds didn't have a plan B to show up. I spoke all about it and got a lot of flack of people saying, yeah, I don't know what the preparation is and I wasn't part of the camps. And I understand that. From the side, I just wanted to see what lessons do I need to learn for my business. When we see the signals happening. You know, I spoke to a client this morning and I'm talking about business. When you change plan, when you start, you see you losing $1 million, and then you say you're losing 2 million. You know, you think about that up, you're down, you're up 22.5, then you're up 22.12, and then 22.19. When do you start making changes in your business and so forth? And that was the lessons I want to learn. It's the same with Drickers. Every round was more or less the same. Do you start changing after the 3rd round and say, I need to do something different and adapt your style and look at it, or just do you push through? And do you then accept the results after pushing through? And the preparation, and sometimes it's to go back to the basics, right? The Proteas went back to the basics. They won the next series with the Aussies in the week. The one days, they won 2 amazing games, and then they lost the last one a little bit with a hiding. However, they won the series of the one days. And so they did step up. They changed their plan and they got the results. The Springboks went back to their basics, their strengths. It wasn't a beautiful win. A win is a win. I would have loved us to smash the Aussies like they did us. That wasn't meant to be. However, we still got the win. I think there's a lot of learnings that we got from it. Is that in the end of the day, on the day, only 23 players can play. You might have a team. Everyone says, "Oh, we can put 3 Springbok teams on the field." We have 3 to 5 players in each position that we can play. It's the same in business, but in the end of the day, only a certain amount can get on the field. You can only use certain amount of resources, and are we utilizing the resources that is available to us? And I think that was something that I had to reflect on. It's the same in my business, is that where are we trying to help everyone and trying to do everything? Because I had to realize in my business is we have to drill down, because we wanted to help everyone. You get to a point where you just want to help everyone, and you every deal that comes in you want to take on. And I see Action Factory Dion is on here. Hi Dion, nice to have you here, brother. Well done on your 9-day course on certifying people. And is that's for me, it's the secret, is how can we adapt and come back to the focus? And I told my team is we have to press the reset button. So we're pressing the reset button and we say, okay, what is our core focus? What is our message? So we're doing an expo, and last year we did the expo, we had a glass walk, and we got people to walk over glass as we gathered the leads. And in the end of the day, I reminded my team, I was like, yeah, we need to have the glass walk there again and get people to walk. And I say, you know what challenges me is that last year when we did that, the main end with people came on, let's walk on the glass, let's walk. We forgot the main focus. And so we got 100+ people walking over the broken glass, not one of them turning into business because they weren't the ideal client. But we wanted to give them the experience before they bought. And my lesson to that was to say, guys, let's focus. What is our intention? What is it we want to achieve? And I think sometimes that's what you need to do in your business. And so I spoke to my clients. So I have this philosophy that every quarter you have to do a reset button. So it's our quarter now. We're going into the last quarter of the year in my mind, because December doesn't really count. So it's basically now September, October, November. What is our plan for the next 3 months? Because that also leads in our time for next year, January. So December, we will plan January, February, March. So we're going to use December for that. But what is your next 3 months focus, right? 2025 is not over yet. There's still time to do things, to address challenges in your life, to step up your life. If your relationship needs work on, how to work on your relationships. If your business needs to work on, what do we need to do work on our business? What is your strategy going to be like, right? And so we said reset button. And then the next thing that we do is every month now we do a performance management review. So at the end of this week, I'm sitting each of my team members. We're going to look at where they are, what is their goals, what they want to achieve, where are they stuck, what is the support they need. Because I'm talking next week at the Biz Show on the 3rd of September, 3rd and 4th of September, the biggest business show in Africa, over 25,000 people over 2 days. We have a stand there, so please come and visit. And I'm talking about the art of scaling. And part of the art of scaling is to have a team. You want to do everything yourself, and that's why most businesses don't is because they're too scared to get people. I've been scared in my life to hire people, and now I have a whole team that works for me. And yes, it's daunting. It puts a lot of pressure. However, I have to perform under this pressure, and I have to think outside of the box, and I have to generate more business as we're going in the year. However, I also walk in faith. I believe God. I don't know if there's any of you that believe in God, but I believe in God, and I believe God has called me to do this, and that's why I'm here. I have this philosophy about whatever it takes, and I realized I can't hide away. Is that God has called me to do this, so I have to show up. I can't expect Him to bless me if I don't show up, if I don't step up. And I think that's the thing is, are you stepping up? Are you stepping up into your purpose and your potential? Now, I was so excited tonight. I've been seeing my son is just watching all my videos on TikTok. He's just liking them. And so it's nice to see him following his dad and seeing what his dad is doing and seeing his dad is pushing through no matter, the uncomfortableness and not feeling good. And being a business, guys and ladies, it's not, we can say it is easy and it's fun, and it's being in business is a challenge. It is the moment we wake up, it's a hustle of constantly hustling and getting business. But if you don't have a strategy and a plan, you're going to falter, you're going to drop the ball. And I think that's where we want to get back to is, what is our strategy and can you adjust it? Or are you going to be like the Springboks and hope that the one strategy that you have is going to win you the game? And when you are down 22, up 22-19, and then 22 behind 22 to 26, you think still you're going to win. You're still going to push through. You're not going to adjust your plan, and that's fine. However, somewhere you have to wake up and say, okay, things are changing. Things need to change. I can't keep on doing the same momentum. Is what is my niche? What's my target? What am I focusing on? What do I want to achieve? And this is why one thing I keep reading books. So one of the nicest books that I read is called The Art of Scale. And it's like a massive book. But it's that consistent learning of, guys, I want to become better, right? So I need skills. Now, I spoke to a sales team today, and the funny is when you ask them, what are you doing to grow your sales? It's like, are you doing courses? Are you reading books? No, none of them. None of them are investing in learning something better. And I realize it's the same when it comes to me. And I needed to realize, okay, where do I need to upskill? And so I've decided also to sign up for a course. I've signed up for a course of the NCI Institute, talking about body language, profiling. Because if you take half of your face, right, and you close it, you can tell a lot about someone's facial profiling of what it means: feminine, male, masculine side, sadness, happiness, emotional, anger, fear. You can really tell where someone is. And understanding, if I want to become better at what I want to do, I need to understand people, because I'm in the people game. And the more I can understand people, the more I can read people, the better results can I get, because the better I can influence them to get what I want. Now, business show is coming up next week. We're talking about the art of scaling your business. And one of those things that I said is you have to get a team, right? But then when you have the team, is now the challenge comes is, okay, the team needs a strategy, needs a plan. Now, there is a saying, only have a plan A, no plan B, because if there's a plan B, you can always change. So it's rather burn the boats and take the island than not to burn the boats, right? To have a boat's backup that you can flee. But then there's always in the back of your mind, there's a plan B. However, you also have to be flexible so that when the situation changes, is to say, when do I adjust my plan, right? When do I adjust my plan? So you can have the best plan, But somewhere you have to have a trigger point and say, look, after every 3 months, I need to assess what is my measurables to see if I'm going to work. If we up for 22-0 from the beginning and suddenly they crawling back and it's 22-19, then it's, guys, okay, let's come back to the basics. What is our focus? Where do we should be on, right? So measurables, that's your finances, that's your results, everything, that's your measurables. So finances, results, we talked about planning and team. And then the third step is, what are you doing on marketing and branding and driving sales? Now, part of me marketing branding is create credibility is doing videos like this, is to start, and it's not going to be perfect in the beginning. However, I have to get used to it. I'm going to start having podcast interviews. I've had Dion on here. I've had a lot of other people here on the past, and having conversations. I'm busy setting up an area where we're going to sit. It's not perfect. I'm just trying an ambience tonight, and and TikTok, they can see, but on TikTok, just some lights. There's my book stand. There's the light. So it's just for everyone that's that side, I see it on TikTok, but they have a more fuller view than you guys on TikTok. So, however, it's multi-channel streaming. It's getting my voice out there on multiple channels and making sure that I have something to give. Now, we're talking about business scaling, and I just gave you some good advice. Now, the same with life is, where do you want to be in your life? Where are you relationship-wise? I realized this weekend is that people that I look up to, that I thought has the most amazing relationship, a relationship that I think I would love to have, a partner that is supportive, that is there for the person, actually there for each other. From the outside, it looked amazing. Until you sit down and you realize, shucks, they are going through almost a breakup. They are not in good space. They are fighting. They don't see the same views, and yet they are together. And it made me realize is, when do we realize that we need to work on our relationships? We get business coaches. Now, they have business coaches. They pay a big amount for business coaches. They have fitness coaches. And then I ask, do you have something for your relationship? And they say no. And it made me realize is that we can so easily invest in other areas of our life, but we sometimes too much in our ego to really focus on how do we work on our relationship. Because the thing is, our relationships, is it really important? Is there, do we constantly build trust? Do we constantly reinforce loyalty and give each other respect? I just saw a post of someone that I know talking about getting on their partners' WhatsApps, saying they're messaging their work colleague and then sending suggestive messages with a work colleague and then saying, oh, it's nothing, man, nothing happened. And it made me realize, shucks, we allow that to happen, and we think it's fine to do that. And that's unfortunately what the impact social media has done, what emails are doing. We're constantly out there and having attractions with people that talks to us, that we open doors consistently. And because we are so busy, we don't get time for each other. And then we don't realize the other person is slipping away because we are, I'm just thinking about you all on TikTok and on Facebook and LinkedIn, is that how addicted have you become on scrolling? Have you found that in the morning you wake up or during the day, you're scrolling and you're just scrolling and listening. And before you know it, an hour is gone. As we want that instant gratification. And it's easier to get that and getting attention from someone than to start working on the relationship and really putting an effort. I think for people, it's the same with business. They want it easy. And we want things to happen easy. We want that instant gratification. So one of my clients helps businesses to create an online platform, online websites, funnels, etc. He gets them to get to the software, gets them to sign up. However, he gets them to a 3-day workshop. He gets them to follow the steps to implement, and then they walk away and they don't touch it again. And I'm like, why is this happening? And it's because people even want you have to hold their hand, and then you hold their hand, and then they still don't follow through. It's because there's no instant gratification, there's no leads, there's no immediate business. because they want immediate business. I'm like, okay, let's run ads. But the ads is not getting them immediate results. I still have to pick up the phone. I still have to do the sales call. I still have to pitch the client. I still have to do X, Y, Z. And then it becomes a challenging of selling yourself to your client. And then I have clients that I sign up for 12 months. And then the last 2 months, I haven't heard from them. They ignore me, they ghost me. And I'm like, you get a commitment and you not showing up. It's like you paying for the gym and not going to the gym. It's because when you think you're not getting results, you always are going to have an excuse. I don't have the time. How many of you have a gym contract and hardly goes to the gym? Right? We have that and we don't show up. And I think is that where do you then start saying it's time for me to go to plan B and not accept the results and accept mediocre? People ask me, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes is not to settle for mediocrity. Whatever it takes is to really show up still when you don't feel like showing up. It's about saying enough is enough. It's like, Kobus, I can't accept the reality I'm living in. I can't accept the economy that's happening. I have a client that shared on a WhatsApp group that we are in and sending up all the negative things that is happening in the economy. Marion Roberts is closing. Goodyear is closed. AMS, the metal company, the steel company is closing. All of that. And then suddenly I'm like, if you keep on focusing on that, you're going to constantly attract that. That is the truth and reality about it. And then I started Googling, and do you know the one big Australian mine has now bought a gold mine in South Africa? They're going to employ 1,000 people over the next few years, over a few billion that they're investing. That is just one company. Isuzu has decided to increase. They're going to focus more on trucks and increase their capacity on building trucks in South Africa. No, that's just two companies that I just found by Googling, and I'm putting there. I'm like, but look here, things are happening. Nedbank is now investing into a big mining operation. I don't know how many billion that's going to happen. I had a list of things that is positively happening in South Africa, and I'm like, guys, I know there's negative news, but there's also positive news. We just need to know where to look for those positive news instead of focusing on all the negative. I'm on all of this, from a Rob Herself to Peniel Black to Ronaldo Gous to all of them, and they're good at biz news. They're good at giving you the news. I mean, the other one is Slingshot that I listen to. It's good for me to get the news, but it's so negative and it's so focused on the government and the economy. Listen to this, right? If you're constantly going to filter your brain in with this negativity, this negative TikToks, I don't know how many of you watch these feminist videos about what a man should be and a woman should be, and follow this and the psychology. If a man doesn't show up and he does this, he's not a good man, and women, you should have boundaries. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying if you're constantly having that programming, you start creating that reality. And we start attracting them. Someone says energy flows where attention goes. 100%. I love it, the recovering free spirit. And I mean, that's what it's about is, can we address our focus on where we want to focus in our business? Now, think about the Springboks. When they refocused this last weekend to get the win, no matter what, they got the win. Now, here's what I say. Luck favors the bold, right? Luck favors if you are prepared. If you've done the work beforehand. There was 2 kicks that the Aussies missed. If they had it over, they were a lot more closer. It could have gone anywhere, right? They lost it. The margin was 8. The pressure is a little bit too big. The closer we get to the end, it's not going to happen. But then you also look at the All Blacks. The All Blacks lost. Nobody gave them option. Everyone last week spoke about. I saw the All Blacks this morning on their shows, talking about last week how amazing it was, and now they say, oh, it's the worst All Black team of all. We've lost. They've just like suddenly a week later from the best team to losing the worst team. And again, we shouldn't relax our focus and think, once you've got that big deal, you sorted. Once you've landed that girlfriend or partner, you are sorted. No, you can't take the other person for granted. you can't take your clients for granted. You can't take your team for granted. And I think that's the thing for me that is important is can we prepared for those times? And I think that's the one thing. It's not to settle for mediocrity. It's about really scaling. So I want to shout out to everyone. Petrus, you've been staying here long. For everyone that's on, I don't know if there's any comment on social media. I will check now. If I've missed any comments, I apologize. Trying something new. I will still figure out a system of getting better in touch with people and comments. And I don't have my team supporting me now yet, but Bruce, you know, he sleeps early. This is his bedtime, and usually he jumps on and will send me WhatsApps. But I've got an iPad now. I've got set up. I probably will set up this a little better. Talk about books that have changed my life. And really, I think, guys, ladies, it's all about showing up. And I honor you for listening to me tonight. You could have done anything else. So if you're out there and you want to keep being part of my journey, I won't mind a like, a subscribe, a comment, and a support from your side so that I can just keep on giving value to business owners out there. I can bring ideas and tools and techniques for people to grow their businesses. Also, it's also an opportunity for me to improve my voice and what I have to say and how I have to say it. Because the thing is, we need hope currently in South Africa. We want people to focus on the possibilities and potential, because there's one book, one of the books that I love to read. I had a client gave it to me, The Art of Possibilities. If you ever want to read it, talks about, it's a self-development book. It's about the art of possibility. It's about giving someone an A, even though they're a B. It's believing in yourself when nobody wants to. It's talking about standing in the mirror and falling in love with yourself and saying affirmations. When someone is not performing and they're a B, see them as an A, empower them as an A, you know, even so that they can start believing in it. Because if someone believes in us, we perform better. And I understand that it's the same with our kids, the same with our team, people that we work with, our customers. If you start believing in your customers, if you start showing up to your customers and not complain about the economy and just talking about possibilities and opportunities, their minds will start opening up. Will start seeing possibilities and opportunities. And I think the change starts with us. If we want to see the change in the world, we need to become that change, Mahatma Gandhi. And also, talking about if we want to influence our destiny and change it, we need to start looking at what is our belief systems and what do we believe and how do we believe it and where those beliefs come from. I spoke to my son today and saying, you know, what do you want to do? Because he has to choose his subjects. And I said, you have the opportunity to become whatever you want to be. It's going to take, the only thing you need to realize, it's going to take work and it's going to take effort and it's going to take energy. That's it. However, if you do put in the work, you put in the time, you will get the rewards. So one thing I need to start doing is I'm 115 kilograms, picked up a little bit of weight, you know, and so one of my targets is there. I want to, by the end of the year, get to 100 kilograms. So that's my target. I'm going to look totally different from what I look now. However, that's my target. So what is your goal for the end of the year? Where's your target? Let me know. Have you started thinking about, for this last 3 months, what is it you're going to focus on? What is that end result that you're going to celebrate on Christmas? The gift that you're going to give to yourself. What's the gift you're going to give to your clients? What's the gift you're going to give to your businesses, to your teams, to everyone that you meet up every day? Now, there's a saying I have, live without regret. Every person that you meet up today, what difference are you going to make in their life? Right? And I think that's the most important is, can you make a difference in someone's life? And I saw this video about giving hugs, right? Have you given a car guard a hug? No, they stink with us. They didn't bath. No, it's not about that. It's not about you. It's about, have you given them a hug and say, Sawubona, I see you. Is we don't make time to see each other and see the person. And because sometimes you don't have money to give the car guard, but you can give a smile, you can give an affirmation, you can give a recognition and compliment. And I see people walk past and don't even make eye contact, and it's just to make eye contact for that moment and say, I see you. I don't have anything to give to you today. However, I can give you a smile. I can give you a word of affirmation, and I can give you a hug. For us to be the change in South Africa, we have to be that change. We can't wait for the politicians. We can't wait for businesses. We have to be that change. And can we become the ripple effect that is needed to make that change in South Africa? Because the thing is, if we're not going to do it, we're going to become part of the statistics of complaining of why the country is struggling, why things are not working. And so let us not be that. Let us be the difference. You were born for a reason to be in South Africa. You were placed here for a reason. I know there's people that have gone overseas and that opportunity to do, but not everyone has that opportunity. And so you have the opportunity to be here. What difference are you going to make? And are you going to build it up and be the change? Or are we going to be part of the problem in the end of the day? It's 8:46. I'm not going to go on too long tonight. I just want to have a shout out. I've done this. Thank you for everyone who's joining every night. I will see you tomorrow night again at 8 o'clock. So please come and join me at 8 o'clock. We're going to jump on live. We're going to talk about tomorrow and maybe another fireside chat. We're going to maybe check in what's happening in the news. Maybe there's some positive news coming. Maybe if you want me to ask, if you have any questions, pop me a DM. Ask me questions, Kobus. I would love you to answer on the following questions. I will ask it. I will answer it in the next live, and I will talk about it and I will discuss it. Whatever topic you want. If you want to speak about aliens, then we can talk about aliens. If you want to speak about conspiracy theories, I can talk about that. And yeah, I just want to check here something. I think please, yeah, that's okay. I'm not gonna. I think that we can leave for tomorrow night. Okay, I'm gonna switch off. Thank you, everyone. Beatrice, thank you for staying all the way. Everyone, Madeleine, Tiga, and everyone that's in Esme, Kaylee. There's so many of you to mention. Just want to have a shout out to all of you for being on here, recovering team spirit, etc. Sending you all hugs. Let me go and love and leave you. Let me switch this off. Okay. Kisses. Bye. Cheers.